Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta take a little time to think things over. I gotta read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In my life, there's been heartache and pain. I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now. I'll travel so far to change things slowly, love. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. Gonna take a little time.
Good morning. This is Samuel Jacob Kirchner, Voice of the Breeze, welcoming you to our Saturday morning live stream meditation experience of what love is. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. Well, maybe you can show me, but I still want to experience it. I don't want to talk about it. And the crazy thing is, I know how to experience love at will. How to be in the loving state rather than in the fear state. However, I have to do something. I guess I have to do what I'm doing right now. Breathe it. Feel it in my body. Move with it. Experience it. Make space for it. So this is the practice of the breeze, what I was just describing. I just keep saying it in different ways. But in this talk part of our meditation live stream, I want to talk about the difference between experiencing things and thinking about them, talking about them, which seems to be nowadays very much the way of the world. We try to resolve everything by thinking about it, figuring it out mentally, trying to understand it. But sometimes when things are happening, especially when setbacks are happening, when life startles us, when it throws us a curve with something unexpected, that triggers in us agitation and fear and anxiety and stress. We go into our heads almost by default and are trying to think our way around it. But in that state, that we are in the state of being startled, of being kind of hijacked out of the present, thinking, the thinking that's available here is, it's very fight or flight, defensive, left brain thinking. And yeah, we can always figure something out, but that does not really transform the situation. And if we want to transform the situation, which I'm assuming, there I go again assuming, but I assume that those who are listening here, viewing this, you want to feel better, don't you? Don't you want to, when you are in a state of fear, panic, agitation, anxiety, frustration, don't you want to feel better? Don't you want to feel back in a state of ease? Don't you want to be in the loving state? I know for some people, the idea of being in the loving state is almost like unheard of. But of course, we can live in the loving state if we so desire, and if we are willing to do what it takes to live in the loving state, in which you are really connected to the energy of love, of unconditional love. I'm not saying that it's possible, at least it's not possible for me, to be there 100% of the time, but much, much more than I used to. And I like that. I like getting older in years and feeling more loving and being able to transform stressful, anxious, panicky, terrorizing situations into love. It is possible. I'm a living proof of it. I'm really one of these people who is willing to work that predicament of living in the loving state rather than be caught up in worries and in panic and in anxiety and agitation. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you are even considering that possibility, the good news is that, like everything else, if you pay attention to it, if you have that intention, you'll definitely find a way of doing so, just like I did. And my stakes were very, very high. Stakes for me, the raw material that I came with, the anxiety and the fear in my system, my nervous system, in my DNA, it's very, very high. Trauma, all of that. But from a very, pretty much early in my 20s, I realized that if I'm not going to really devote my energy, I could go crazy. I could lose it, and I did. I could go off the deep end. No, I'm talking maybe about people with more sensitive system, who don't have thick skin, who have very thin skin, and who really have to work much harder at being cool and composed and in a state of ease, in the loving state. which we all have glimpses of. But why not aim to be there most of the time? Of course. Why not? Obvious. Because such a big part of us is habituated and addicted to live in stress and agitation and anxiety, in worry, and we don't even know. I work with people all the time. The possibility of letting that go and replacing it with this other existence is very threatening. Who am I going to be without my worries, without my fears, without my drama? And I'm not belittling that, not for a moment. But nor am I saying that that's the ultimate reality. It's not. And yes, there is a choice. And to make that choice, we have to be skillful and we have to be really willing, particularly willing to work with the resistance that comes up. Many of the people I work with, they really want. They want to live in the loving state. They want to let go of worries and agitation and anxiety. The price is so high. And yet, when it comes down to it, there is this incredible resistance. And that resistance, we have to particularly learn to work with, to open our hearts, to breathe with ease, and to make space for the resistance that comes up as mental and emotional, to make physical, energetic space for it in our system, in our body, in our hearts. You know, I'm feeling it right now. I'm hearing what probably you're hearing too. Somebody is screaming. I live in a very busy street, not far from a mental hospital, and there's a lot of unexpected or expected at this point screams in the street, and I'm working it right now as I'm speaking. So there's a part of me that's distracted and triggered by that scream. Screaming is somebody's suffering, somebody is going through some problems, somebody is definitely reaching out for help and screaming. What can I do about it right now? As I'm speaking to you, I can breathe love into my own reaction and connect through my breath also to the person who is screaming and make space for it inside myself, inside my system, in my breath, in my heart, in my body. And have compassion for being human, which means that sometimes you find yourself in situations in which horrible things are happening around you, and you can either run away from it, deny it, shut off, tune out, hold your breath, clench, or you can breathe, reach out to the breath, reach into the breath, breathe, open your heart, and really make space for it. The experience, make space for the experience, not thinking it away, not outsmarting, not denying, but actually opening to it, breathing into it. asking the breath to help. And move through it and expand. I really feel, in a sense, this is what expanding our humanity is. Not shutting things out, nor feeling, dwelling in feeling guilty. Oh, I could do something for the Syrian refugees, but here I am just worrying about my own little life. No, you can open your heart, breathe, and have compassion and make space for what you feel about Syrian refugees right now in your experience. Compassion, that is the nature of compassion. Making space, making room for that which the mind cannot even fathom about connecting to and making room for. So, I think that I want right now to experience the 5 steps of the breeze and transform whatever experience you're having right now, especially if it's one of worry, negativity, anxiety, fear, to a loving, more confident, more easeful, calmer, and more joyful state. And deepen your humanity. So I'm going to play the 5 steps of the breeze. It's a 6-minute meditation, moving meditation, breathing and moving meditation. And all I have to do is just follow the instruction. Breathe love with the 5 steps of the breeze. Pay attention to your breath. Slow it down, breathing in on the higher chime and out on the lower chime. Be one with the breath. Shake and awake your numbness and disconnect. Feel the breath in your body and breathe with ease. Flow like a river and let go. Align your breathing and moving with the music and let go of struggle. Stand like a tree and make space. Open your heart to the breath and allow it to heal and wash clear constrictions, pains, fears, and struggles. Walk with grace. Walk the talk. Be present. Find your authentic pace and discover your original self, moment by moment, breath by breath. Dance and celebrate. Breathing love, the joy you were born with, your original self. Hi. How are you feeling right now? You feel a difference from before we started the 5 steps? Do you feel more in the loving state? Do you feel more connected to the soul? I believe that when we are in the loving state, we are connected to the soul. So I'm going to end this a little earlier today. And if you'd like to know more about our work, and if you'd like to become part of the Artist of Living community, and receive our newsletter and meditations and be kept informed about our different offerings, please go to the website, which is thebreeze, breaze.com. And if you sign up for our newsletter, for our community, you'll receive some meditations as a gift. and you'll be kept informed about all our different endeavors, including getting a weekly notice about this hangout, this live stream, which will now be available for 24 hours on YouTube and on our website. So, I think I'm going to go back to that wonderful song and play that as the ending of our live stream. This is Samuel Jacob Kirchner, voice of the breeze, wishing you a day filled with joy, oxygen, and ease.
A little time to think things over. I gotta read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In my head.